another team that has given their fans something to cheer about over the past week is your favorite team and mine, your Toronto Raptors. It's time for the wrap it up segment.
Wrap it up.
The wrap it up segment where we go over the news and notes of your Toronto Raptors. And, other than Drake obviously taking over the broadcast last night during the Raptors.
Bad look for TSN not to have Drake night.
Right? Kate Burness upset. Drake didn't give the TSN broadcast love and said it happened to Sportsnet, right? But aside from that, when Drake is not dominating the broadcast and dissing Jeremy Lamb for no good reason, right? Like Jeremy Lamb's got to be like, wait a second, what did I do to anyone? Like he's just getting slandered all over the place. Like it's amazing. But when Drake's not dominating the headlines, the person who did dominate the Raptors headlines this week was Marc Gasol, as we'll get to the craziness that's going on in Memphis because it is craziness. But one of the things that come out of that are trade rumors. And is Marc Gasol unhappy? Is there a thing where it's just time to blow it all up in Memphis? Either way, it's led to Marc Gasol rumors. There's a report from NBA insider Mitch Lawrence, and he says, among the teams that could make a move for Gasol are Toronto, Cleveland, Boston, and Portland. Industry sources tell me that the Raptors are open to moving center Jonas Valanciunas and have young players the Grizz might be interested in pursuing, including Jakob Poeltl and Lucas Nogueira. So let's start there, Webby, and say, should the Raptors go after Marc Gasol?
If that's all you got to give up for him, yes.
Is there anyone that you would think is like untouchable of the kids, or you're just like
other than DeRozan and Lowry? No, Marc Gasol is that good. Where you want to talk about a culture guy too, and the Raptors are trying to build a culture. Marc Gasol is the guy that you want to do that with, man. I got a lot of time for him. Not only is he one of the most underrated big men of the last decade, but from all accounts, like a really, really solid locker room guy. Again, pardon the cliche, but you know what? Like, I think that there's a reason that David Fizdale got let go, because the people who own the team and run the Grizzlies know how important Marc Gasol is.
Yeah.
So I don't think that the Grizz would get rid of him. But if you're the Raptors, yeah, I would trade just about anybody on the roster for Marc Gasol.
It's funny, too, because I've floated this question around a couple of our boys who are also Raptor fans, and they hesitated on, like, they didn't want to give up OG in a deal. And I'm like, wait a second. We're not in a place where
OG can defend. That's great. But he's not, like, really a five-tool player like Marc Gasol is, especially now that Marc's added, like, the three-point shot to his game.
I mean, it brings up a very interesting thing, right? Because Marc Gasol, I think, Webby, could be that third piece that Serge Ibaka was supposed to be, or that you were hoping Serge Ibaka would be, like that like big man presence to balance off the dominating backcourt you have with Lowry and DeRozan. I think Marc Gasol could actually be that person. And the thing is, with his contract, it actually does fit into the same 3-year window that Masai Ujiri has been putting forward, right? With the deals of re-upping Serge Ibaka and Kyle Lowry for 3 years. He has DeMar DeRozan for 4 years, 1 extra year after that. But Marc Gasol's contract fits right into that, right? I mean, he'll cost you, I think, $25.5 million on the final year of his deal in 1920. But you're telling me that if you could get Marc Gasol to fit into that hole and you're running forward with your core of being Lowry, DeRozan, Serge, and Marc Gasol, and there's none of the kids are untouchable in my mind. If you had to give up Norm Powell, or if you had to give up Poeltl or OG, you wouldn't really want to do that. But if you're serious about, hey, we brought back Lowry and DeRozan and Serge to make a run here and be a serious contender for not only the Eastern Conference before a championship, then you got to go get Marc Gasol, no?
Oh, yeah. If you're the Raptors, you do everything you can to get a guy like him on your team. The only problem is there's no way the Grizz trade a guy who they fired their coach over. There's no way.
Well,
I think this could be a Raptors pipe dream here.
It is super interesting that you say that, and I'm trying to find the article right now because a story came out today in the Bleacher Report, and you're totally right about this, Webby. I don't know if I sent this to you because it came out pretty late during the day, but it was by Ken Berger of the Bleacher Report, and there are a lot of
Ken Berger.
Yeah, he's solid. He's a solid NBA reporter, longtime NBA reporter, And he had a lot of like just fire, flame quotes from sources here about the whole situation. And here, I'm going to read you a couple of the quotes here that might lead to exactly what you're saying. You're the Grizz, you don't want to give up Marc Gasol. So I'm going to read you some of these quotes, Webby. First one, the Grizzlies are like a Hollywood set. A person familiar with the team's dynamics told Bleacher Report. Quote, a lot of facade and nothing behind it. Okay. Two, second quote that caught my eye. Going on more with the whole Marc Gasol and the tension there, it's basically talked about how Marc Gasol's he's kind of been antsy for a while, right? Because, quote, he had two pretty good coaches in Dave and Lionel, and he felt this guy was a bit of a phony. So you could be right there, Webby. If Marc Gasol thinks that Fizdale was a bit of a phony and then they're getting rid of Fizdale, maybe that squashes the rumors to the Raptors, but it's great to dream, right?
Oh, for sure. And the people who run the Grizzlies there, they know he's important enough to lose a good young coach like David Fizdale for.